thanks for stopping by my channel. Make sure to like, leave a comment below, and subscribe for more videos about my 1L experience. Today I want to talk about mistakes that I made during my 1L year. These are some things that if I were to do my 1L year all over again, I would do a little bit differently. The first mistake I made was trying to do it all. I went to every office hour, every TA office hour, every study session, every extra session that I could, I went to. Partially that was easier because it was on Zoom, so it was easy to just pop in, but I really went to everything. And while in the beginning I think that that's really beneficial because you can see what works for you, after a certain point you're not using your time wisely, and some of those reviews do not help you as much as you would think that they would. My advice is to go to all of those sessions in the beginning and see what works for you. Maybe you might find that the TA's office hour is more beneficial to you than the professor's office hour. And if that's the case, then stick with that and don't go to the professor's office hour. The next mistake I want to talk about is delaying making your outline. One thing you will notice when you start law school is that the outline is everything. It's the culmination of all of your notes, all the cases for the end of the year, and you can use that for your final, either to study from, or if it's an open book exam, you can use your outline in your exam. Do not wait to make this outline. A lot of people will delay, and then the last week or so they're cramming, trying to shove everything in this outline. If you systematically work on it and put it into your schedule to work on it every week or even every 2 weeks, because then at the end of the semester you can take the time that everyone else is spending stressing about their outline and better use that time on doing practice exams to prepare for your finals. The next mistake is doing things that you feel like you should be doing instead of the things that work for you. For example, if you are a pencil and paper kind of person, don't feel like you have to bring your laptop to class to take notes if really handwriting is what's going to work better for you. I know there's a lot of pressure to study a certain type of way, but the way that you study works for you, and it's gotten you this far, it's gotten you into law school, so just continue with that. It's always good to try new methods, but really stick to what you know works well for you. The next mistake that I made was not making a schedule. I had my schedule for my classes, of course, but I didn't have any set time scheduled for when I'd work on studying, when I'd work on outlining, which meant that I was just continuously working on these things, and if I wasn't, I was feeling guilty about it. I'm sure a lot of people feel the same way, but make a schedule for yourself that outlines when you study. The next mistake that I made is not taking enough time for myself. I felt like I was studying all the time, always doing reading, always working on the outline and trying to see what I needed to get done, that I didn't take enough personal time. And I think had I made a schedule, like I mentioned in a previous tip, that I would feel less guilty taking that time for myself to just chill out and watch Netflix or spend time with friends, or whatever the case may be. Making sure that you have time for yourself so you can go exercise, rest, do whatever self-care things that you like to do is really going to be important, so that way when you're studying you're focused, but then when you're not, you can truly relax. The last mistake that I made was being afraid to ask questions. Sometimes I felt like I didn't have a strong grasp of the doctrine, so I didn't feel like I could even formulate a question to ask my professor. And I think if I were to do this now, I would go to an office hour or a TA office hour or something and just say, can you talk about blank in that we discussed in class last week? Can you talk more about this case and what this case means? And just asking broad, general questions, that's so much better than just not asking a question at all if you're not understanding. And then as they explain, you may have a more formalized question that you can ask, or you'll just have a generalized understanding that you didn't have before. There really is no such thing as a silly question, and I assure you that a lot of your classmates are wondering the same thing. So these are my tips for how to not make the same mistakes in your 1L year that I did, and I'm sure if you follow these, you'll have a very successful 1L first semester and first year. Make sure to like and leave your comments below for more suggestions for the next 1L class.